What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm J-Lag.
And I'm NB.
And we are recapping and reviewing Riverdale Season 5, Episode 18, and it's called Chapter 95, Next to Normal.
Don't forget, guys, stick around for the ending of the podcast because we're going to go through our recap roundups, our best moments, our best lines, MVPs, LVPs, and we're going to go through your recap roundups because we've got a lot this week and we want to get through all of them. So stick around for the end of the podcast for that.
And as always, to our continuing listeners and our brand new ones, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this episode, y'all. I'm gonna go musical.
You're gonna sing the whole time?
I'm just gonna sing the whole review. Yeah.
How did you like it?
It was a very emotional episode.
Yeah.
As I think I said last episode, it's like whenever they really want to get all the emotion out, like they do a musical. They gotta do a musical.
No, yeah.
It was really
it fit for this totally.
It fit. It was good. It was a great way to like send off Polly, like bring even the actress back to have like a moment. Like we didn't get to see her all season, so like for her to like at least be in this moment, even though it was a fantasy, it worked. It worked for me. It was really nice. I liked the musical. The numbers were really cute. I kind of want to like watch the Broadway now because it's like the story sounds very intriguing to me. What did you think?
No, I absolutely loved it. I was saying how like Polly's best moment was literally in her death in a fantasy episode. Like that's when we got the best Polly because she was so good. Like she was really great. Good on camera. I loved it. Every moment was obviously Betty and Alice carried the entire episode. Totally. But I did love the little big moments throughout the entire episode. Yeah. And a lot of realization, a lot of coming to realizations this episode. It felt like a very mature episode, very adult. I loved it all. I could have used like 5 minutes less of like the musical aspects.
You're like, maybe like give us 10 seconds between each song.
Because I don't know if you know this, but Veronica had the musical sequence, but it didn't air in the live episode. So they actually cut her out in the live episode. And when I was watching it back, when I watched it back on Netflix after, and I saw that scene, I was like, that was such a good scene. And like for her to get shafted during the live episode, like they could have cut out one Betty Alice scene just to have Veronica's in there.
So wait, which one did they cut out? The one where she's
at the table.
Oh, wow.
Like when I watched it last night, it literally like Jughead says like, okay, I'm gonna go to the garage, and the scene like ends right there, and you don't see her singing at all in that part of the episode.
Oh,
so I was like seeing that after, I was like, oh my god, her part really does make sense, and it really does fit her arc of that episode. Yes. So to not have it in the live version, I was like, damn, she really got shafted. Like they could have taken away from something else and just given her that part. Because I feel like it was very clutch to like her characters.
See, I didn't watch it live, so I didn't know what I missed. But yeah, I agree with you. Knowing that it was cut out of the live version doesn't make sense.
It was weird because she says like things in there that I'm like, oh my god, now it all makes sense. Like
she just want to be invisible, girl.
Yeah, it was cute. But anyways, I get it, girl. We loved it.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. And again, to your point, lots of realizations. Can't wait to get into those with you and talk about some VARCHIE breakdowns, because that is the tea. But let's start off right at the top of the episode. Everybody's at the White Worm, and they're basically consoling Betty. They're all having a drink and asking how her family's doing, asking how the kids are doing. It was really sad to hear, like they're always asking for their mom. I guess they don't really know that she's like dead or gone yet. But I do love the fact that finally they're bringing like Cheryl, the cousin, into the storyline.
Yes. When they said that, I was like, thank you. Like
she's just like creating a whole household filled with like redheads. Like at this point, like it's just like a redhead household.
You know what? Like at the end of the episode, I was thinking, I'm like, she should just be a home for like
an orphanage
or like a youth center. Like
for redheads. For redheads.
But Britta's not a redhead.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she is. Yeah. Anyway, so they asked about the kids, they're doing okay, whatever. There was Cheryl, and they asked about her mom, and Betty's basically just like, she's a mess. She's been listening to this Cass album of a musical called Next to Normal, and she talks about how her, Polly, and her mom went to this musical, and it was like a great moment for them. They just remember going in New York, enjoying it, whatever. And she says that it's kind of about her family. She's like, it's about like a family and like one of them is dead, and like it's just like this sad story. Anyway, then as she's talking and explaining this musical, it cuts to Alice in this like 1960s like housewifey outfit, and she's like singing in a fantasy, and the whole Cooper family's together. They're all like, you know, dancing, and like Charles comes in and Polly comes in, and everybody's just like living their best life. Hal isn't there actually, which is I
felt like that was, well,
I mean, it was on purpose, I guess.
Children too, like she does say, "I want my kids back." So
yeah, the most she definitely doesn't want her husband back. She's like, in this musical, he does not exist.
She even says like, "My kids are amazing. My husband is boring." I'm like, yo.
She's like, cut, you're out. So anyway, they go on to sorry, I just wanted to check my mic. Yeah. So as she's singing, they the record starts to skip, and that's when she like realizes that she's like in a fantasy. Betty's like, girl, like your record's skipping.
This record shot got a lot of airtime, by the way, like more than Veronica did, because they kept cutting back to the record
like spinning. Yeah. And then she goes to tell her mom to go take a nap, like go chill, like I'll clean up, like don't worry about it. Then it cuts to Varchie at the Pembroke, and they're like kind of chilling in bed, and Veronica asks Archie to move in together. Let's all remember this moment. Let's all remember.
Talk about how she murdered her ex-husband last episode, and there is zero mention of this whatsoever.
Zero, nothing. Like zero. Nothing. Zilch. And it's interesting because, you know, we did mention it last episode. How is she going to deal with this trauma of killing her husband or her ex-husband? Like, there's nothing about it. And they really could have wrapped her into that story along with what she does in this episode.
100%.
Like, I need to heal from some shit. Also, I shouldn't maybe be with you because I want to be in New York. Like, bring it all together. Give her all of the
do. Like, what did I just do? And now I need to do this. Instead of it was like, here's Superboy and I'm invisible.
Yeah. I mean, like, it just didn't like match considering she literally killed somebody in cold blood. So anyway.
And he doesn't ask about it really, right? Like he doesn't
ask about it. He doesn't care. He's getting the V. So like, he doesn't give a shit. So anyway, he's all good. They're all good. And she asked him if they want to move in together. And he says, oh, nice. Like, I never thought about you wanting to have roommates. And then she was like, oh, like, we're not staying here. And he's like, yeah, you're going to come to my house. Like, we have like more space for like growth for later. So this is Varchie fans, Varchie shippers. This is the fantasy that you guys are building. Like, they're going to move in together. They're going to live in like Archie's house. Everybody's going to be happy, right? Right.
Oh, by the way, Varchie fans didn't like last night's episode. Well, I wonder why.
Because they've realized that it's like not working out for them. So obviously. And they didn't get to have sex one time. At one point in time, he takes his shirt off. I thought they were gonna bang.
Yeah,
and I was
me too. I'm like, oh, he's gonna get it.
I was like let's get that sex in.
And then he like went away. I was like, oh.
I was like, he's definitely not.
Well, someone on Twitter was like, we'll talk about this later too, but they were like, Taken Archie rather slept on a cot at the fire department than come home and bang Veronica.
Ooh.
Like, R.I.P. Varchie.
R.I.P.
like,
Varchie.
When you say it like that.
That is the tea. So anyway, they go on to, so that happens. He says, cool, awesome. They're moving in together after 5 seconds of being together again. What did you think of that idea, the fact that they were like gonna just jump in and move in together?
I thought it was cute because I did think that Veronica would put up more of a fight to be like, no, let's just stay here. Like, I don't want to go to your house. Like, I have everything that I need. I thought it was cute that she was like, because you could see mentally she's thinking about it. She's like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna move in with you. So, and there's a couple of moments throughout the episode where she does do this. She does sort of like think it, and she's like, no, it's okay. It's Archie, and he's my Archiekins, and this is gonna be okay. So like you can see her mentally process that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like you kind of get the sense of like what is coming. Like, unless you're a Varchie shipper and you're like very in denial.
Delusional, yeah.
And delusional, yeah.
You're like, you didn't want to say it, but I said it. Oh, it's okay.
Not to say that like we're expecting Barchie to happen. I'm not saying it in that context. I'm just saying like it's very evident that like it's gonna it's gonna divert. Like they're
It's
not
not
on
going to
the
go
same
well.
page.
I mean, realistically, nobody does this. Like they have just been together. They've been together for 5 minutes. She just like murdered her ex-husband. Like no one is like, let's just move in together. I know it's Riverdale, but like they're trying to suspend us in realism to some degree. And like, this just doesn't make any sense to me. So I was already like, this is doomed. Like, how are they going to just move in together right now? So cuts to Riverdale High, and Principal Weatherby is talking to Tony about Britta because she was found under the stairs by the janitor. She is homeless. And he's like, can you please find a way to help her out? Tony says, okay, cool. She brings her to talk to Miss Weiss, if you remember from the beginning of the season, who's a social worker, and she basically says that like her parents kicked her out, and Miss Weiss is like, I'll help you out. Like, we'll find something. Don't worry. We'll figure something out. So that's like Tony's storyline this episode. Then it cuts to the Cooper residence, and Alice is going through like old pictures. And she's like, remember when we went on this trip? Remember we went like skiing and skating and da 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 da. And again, a singing moment about basically her just being in denial about everything. And it comes to a point where Betty is basically like, Mom, none of this is real, what you're talking about or singing about. And I wrote down Lily is killing it because like there's a moment, I think, when she's like looking in her eyeballs and is like, Mom, like this isn't real. And it was really emotional. I'm like, like I said, like we've said it already, the Alice and Betty scenes were like,
they carried it.
Pure snaps, like the best part of the entire episode.
I also really, really loved the contrast of, 2 seasons ago we lost Luke Perry, and so we're dealing with a character dealing with losing a parent, right? And like everyone kind of coming around him and like consoling him because he just lost his father. And now it's like a little flipped where like we're seeing a parent lose her child. And like those two, how do you deal with those two things? It's a little different. Like I just love that we're getting to see the two sides of that. There's different emotions on both sides, and when you have two actresses that are this like brilliant and so talented, they can hold that storyline. And like Lily and Machen, they just carried it. If it wasn't for them, this episode would have been like nothing. It wouldn't have been the same
for
energy,
sure. Agreed. They just did a great job. Man, Lily is just such a talented person. Holy shit.
And I forget how amazing her voice is. Like,
beautiful.
I don't know. Every time she sings, I'm like, oh my God, I forget this girl can really, really sing. Like,
yeah, she killed it for sure. So anyway, so they have that moment. And then it cuts to Pop's restaurant, and Tabitha is showing her parents around. Her parents are in town and they're like very bougie. I guess like they're from Chicago and they're like rich and shit. And they want to like celebrate Mother's Day because I guess like the episode is supposed to be like a Mother's Day episode. And she's like, why don't we have dinner here at Pop's? And her mom's like, oh no, we already like made reservations at the Italian restaurant. And this is when she's like, oh, but like I need to bring my boyfriend. And then she like calls Jughead over, who's like basically cleaning the tables. And she goes on to say that like, that's my boyfriend. The dad's like obviously like cheese, like everybody's
like,
pissed off.
The server's
like,
your boyfriend.
The busboy is coming to dinner. Why?
What did you think about this scene?
I mean, I guess they're giving a bit of backstory to Tabitha. So like we got to give it to the fact that they're trying to like give her something. I just felt like we've already seen this story. And like, I was kind of shocked.
What did you think about her what did you think about her like playing Jughead as like her fake boyfriend and then it becomes her boyfriend? Like
I mean, I wasn't mad at it because I felt like in the last couple episodes, it's always been like very like, are they or aren't they? Like, is she into him? Is she just supporting him? Why is she even invested in him? By this episode, you realize like there's feelings there, but she's trying to be hesitant because like he's got shit he's got to deal with. She's got shit she's got to deal with. So like, I don't know. I feel like it got figured out by song. I did understand that like she put him in a weird position in that moment, but I was like, okay, I mean, if this moves it along, I'm okay with that. Why? What did you think?
I don't know. I just felt kind of random. It was a little cheap way. It was a little kind of cheesy way of like bringing them together because they're adults. They don't need a stupid ploy with parents to like fake their relationship and then actually become boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
And also I'm kind of still stuck on like what she sees in him. Like I really am. Like I'm really finding it a hard time for her, this like business mogul girl, go-getter, looks at him and is like, damn, he is
Damn,
fine.
Jughead
I want
Jones.
him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really finding it hard to like
Yeah.
get it to invest in that. And then even
Well,
in the
I get that.
song, he's like, you didn't have to ask me twice. Like, I've already would have been your boyfriend. I'm like, ew, like you're so desperate. Like, I don't know. It's I know I'm being really hard on it, but like I find it very hard. And like again, also the fact that her parents are like, ew, like you run this thing. Isn't she a business mogul? So like she's making money. So like why do you guys care? Why are you guys like so like
That's what I
thinking
mean. I
about
just
her
feel like I
career?
don't
She's
feel
a
like
grown-ass
they're,
woman.
yeah, I feel like someone who is like Tabitha would not have parents like them.
Or not
You
even
know what I
that, she
mean?
wouldn't
Like,
feel insecure about it because she clearly felt some type of way about it. She was like, I'm gonna
yeah,
get them back and I'm gonna call him
it's
my
like
boyfriend. Like
snaps.
that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like she wouldn't feel that kind of way.
They're trying to
I
give her
think.
some sort of trauma, I guess, but like
Yeah,
at
I
the same time, I'm
guess.
also just like, why are you even dealing with your parents? You're a grown ass businesswoman, like super
Yeah.
successful. Like, I don't
Like
get
if
it.
you really cared what they thought about you, like you would have been in Chicago still, but like gone to like business school or whatever.
What what a better storyline would have been, I love how we're always like, what it should have been instead is like maybe we learned something about the parents, like she didn't do well in Chicago, like her story about like the fact that she was a like good businesswoman is like all a lie, and she like came here because she had no other choice.
She
Like
was missing foundation, like she was
something
missing
like
history of her
that.
family.
Or she just like wanted, or she just needed a job. Like maybe she just took it over because she's like, I was actually broke in Chicago. I didn't even, I'm not really a businesswoman. Like maybe that's a part of her like mystery. Like we don't know a lot about Tabitha. So they could have said that like her parents are like just looking out for her and like she is kind of fucked up. And then I could understand like to your point, then I can understand Tabitha and Jughead together. Cause then you could be like, oh, Tabitha has like her own issues. Like she's like, been lying about her identity and who she is because she's like ashamed of it and da 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 da. So like it makes sense to me outside of anyway, whatever. Like we're not writers, so you guys figure it out. It's like we can't write this.
Like I am not giving this to you. You need to do it on your own.
Copyright only. So she talks to him afterward, like, oh, is it okay if like you come for dinner? And this is when he starts singing like, but maybe we should be boyfriend and girlfriend for realsies, like just like full out song, whatever. I might be perfect for you. And then at the very end of the song, mwah, kissy and kissy. So yeah, I guess they're like together. They're trying to like figure it out, I guess. Then it cuts to the Cooper residence. Alice is playing the piano and she's dreaming about singing with Polly and Betty on the piano. It was so cute, like whatever.
She was like, Mom, where did the piano come from?
That
like,
was the funniest thing. There was no piano. And she's like, da, 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 da. And then she's like,
I got it from Glamazon.
I know.
When did it come? Who set it up?
Who set it up? Like, or also, you cannot buy a fucking piano on Amazon, like a gigantic fucking piano like that. So
I died.
Anyway, they could have said Wayfair or something else, like, or a fake version of Wayfair. And then Alice goes on to say that she's going to be making dinner for Polly and her and the rest of the family. Like, so, because I think she said that Veronica invited them over for dinner, just like next door.
She's like, Mommy, it's next door.
It's like right over there. You don't have to cook nothing. And she's like, don't worry, I'm going to make Polly's favorite, meatloaf. Let's do it. Meatloaf. Yum.
Like, whose favorite food is meatloaf? What? Girl, Polly, you are so whack.
Shit, you are so basic. Meatloaf is my favorite. Veronica goes on. It shows like Veronica and she's about to sit down and have dinner with the boys. Obviously, she like pulled out all the stops, like perfect fancy pantsy dinner. How does she think that this is like, this is the moment that all VARCHIE shippers should like remember and understand? Why? At the end of the day, foundationally, they are just so different.
Yeah.
She's out here talking about Ina Garten's recipe. They're all like, what the fuck is happening?
You know me, I was all about that.
Yeah, you were like, Ina Garten, yes. Hey, girl. Barefoot Contessa, here we go. So
she was like, Barefoot Contessa, and like, everyone's like, oh, they're like a table of men. Like, they don't know who Barefoot Contessa is.
Exactly.
They're like, no. And then she's like,
anyways, whatever. So it just like shows like and they're out here like fighting fires, like doing the thing. She's not a housewife. She's not like a person who's gonna sit at home and be like, I'm gonna make you dinner. Which is
fair because she realizes that too. Because she first of all packs the food and just puts it in the fridge. She didn't saran wrap it. She didn't
She's
foil
not a
it.
good housewife.
She just put that plate like raw into the fridge. Like that's gonna expire by tonight, girl.
That shit's gonna dry up. You gotta put that shit in a
Put that
Tupperware.
saran wrap over
Put that
it.
shit
like,
on a Tupperware.
At least know that one.
Girl.
Don't be quoting Ina Garden if you can't fulfill the job.
The duties of a housewife, sis.
No, but honestly, I think like what she's realizing in this moment, and to my point in the beginning, when you don't see that musical sequence happen in the live episode, it does fall short because you're like, okay, that's it. But when you see her start to sing and say all those things, I'm like, oh my God, like this is where she's at right now. Like, you understand it so much more. So
so they get called for a firefight right before they're about to like put like one piece of food in their mouth. And then she's like, cool. And then she starts singing as she's putting the food right into the fridge.
Everyone did love the fact that like Jughead was still there and he was like, I'm going to go eat in the garage. And she's like, sounds good. They're so awkward together.
But that's what I mean. Why are they awkward together? What's the reason why?
I don't know. I guess
they're awkward together. It's just because they haven't given them scenes together. It doesn't mean that they have like bad history. Like no bad juju.
Not at all. I just think like Jughead gets annoyed by her and like she can't, like she has nothing to talk about with him.
Right.
I don't know. But then that shows you like who she is as a character too. That like she's known this person for all these years. Like
she can't have a conversation.
7 years.
She doesn't even want to hang with them.
Yeah,
I mean, taken they were
both like cheesed.
I mean, taken they were both in New York and like they didn't even like have a moment together. Like they didn't even want to pit them together at all.
True. The irony is that like Cami Mendes and Cole Sprouse went to school together in New York City. That's the funniest part.
And like they didn't really know each other and she like knew about him. Yeah.
He didn't apparently talk to like anyone or something.
Right. I think they went to like a party together. Wow, we know someone's gossip. So then it cuts to the Cooper residence and they're making like a Mother's Day dinner. It's going to be the best dinner ever. They're all excited. Everyone's singing. Charles is singing. Charles was cute. He had a cute little voice too.
Hype. Like he was like really into the singing thing. Yeah.
And then, Betty, obviously the bummer and the downer. She's like, here are the ashes. Your daughter is dead.
Like, this is Polly. Alice is like, bitch, what is that? You brought that. She's like, Mom.
That is so unsanitary. Like, oh my God, don't get it in the meatloaf.
Why does everyone like cremate people like the next day in this town? Like right away, like
23 minutes later, she's fucking cremated.
Fucked up.
So anyway, shows her the ashes. Obviously, like Fantasy Polly's like, Betty's just being so silly, Mom.
Tell her to shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. My gosh, yeah, she's like, shut her fucking mouth. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. I'm right here. So anyway, once like I guess the memory like fades, she's like, you know what? I have an idea. Why don't we go into the city and watch a show? Like we can enjoy each other.
Let's get lit.
And then Alice is like, I'm down. Like, okay, let's do it. So finally she's like ready to go outside into the world. Then it cuts to Veronica and she's trying to find Archie. Cute moment. I think it's like the next day. And Archie, like she's like looking for him. She hears like, she hears like the shower go off.
Night. Yeah.
And she's like, hey boy, hey. And it's Jughead like
so excited. She's like,
yeah, she was like,
ready. I'm gonna go to the shower.
Yeah. And then it's Jughead brushing his teeth and Frank in the shower. And he's like, hey girl, how's it going?
The soap, Jughead.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't there soap in the shower?
So random. And then he's like, Archie, what a guy, right? And then she's like, I'm gonna go now. Like, bye.
She's like,
yeah, it's so awkward. Like, what did you expect, girl? You're going into a house full of guys. Like,
well, that's yeah. And I guess like that's another, you're waiting for her to get to that point where like these lives all intersect and she's like, this is too much. Like, this is weird.
Yeah.
I thought it was just gonna be me and him. Clearly that's not the case.
No.
I mean, he could have sent her a text to be like, hey, I'm not coming home tonight. Like the boys are coming back, but I'm gonna like, again, like he just doesn't care. Like he's just not mentally fully there, I feel like.
And he just like doesn't, I don't think he has the capacity to like worry about like what the fuck is going on in her life because like he's out here doing shit for the town.
Yeah.
So anyway, whatever, cuts to Cheryl and Penelope. They have a moment and I wrote down they have another versus moment because I feel like this is all we get from Penelope and Cheryl. I hate you, you hate me hate
Yeah.
you hate me, and I'm not like fight. Like always this moment. We've seen it in like probably every version of musical, every season so far. It's always like they're having a spat with each other.
And
We
like
don't
every
agree with each
scene,
other.
even if it's not a musical scene, every scene we've had, they're always just bickering with each other, fighting.
And like I get it. And maybe they just wanted to give them a song together. I don't think I don't actually
Probably.
don't think that Penelope sings, but like Cheryl sings and she's like, you crazy, like I don't like you. She ends up like splashing water. I don't know if you heard the sound effects for the splashing water.
You
It was
know
like
what? I didn't.
boom,
And then
boom.
someone, our listener was like the sizzling sound when like
Yeah.
I'm like, that's I didn't even hear it.
Yeah. And then she like splashes water on her. Yeah. It was literally, I was like, that's not splashing. It's like fucking explosion sounds as she's like splattering water on her.
It's like holy water and she's like the
Yeah.
devil.
She's like, she is the devil. Anyway, she dumps the water on her mom at the very end of the song, and her mom's like, ah, she like runs away. I was like, that's not the worst thing that's ever happened to you, Penelope. You would like, you should just fucking slap this bitch at this point. Like, she's literally poured maple syrup on you. She's almost burned you to death.
Water?
What's water at this point? Like, girl. So then it cuts to Veronica and Reggie talking at Pearls and Posh. We get a little veggie moment.
I really, really love the scene.
Really, really cute. She's helping him study to become a stockbroker. He's like amped. He's so excited. And he's like, in 5 years from now, like, can't you see it? Like, I'm going to be like a millionaire in New York. I'm going to make all this money. And he's like, doesn't that sound amazing? And like cuts to her. She's like, sounds great. Sounds so great
for you, Reggie. But what about me?
Like, what about me? I got to think about myself.
What did he call himself? The magnificent mental or something?
Oh, I'm into that instead of She-Wolf of Wall Street. So like whatever he called him.
Because apparently in the comics that was his nickname, so everyone was like, "Oh my god!" Like he's referencing the comics.
Oh, okay.
I love Reggie's character.
I do too.
I love Charles Melton playing Reggie because he brings such a cute like energy to all of his scenes, like such a like innocent young boy almost like energy, and
just energized,
very energized. And seeing these two characters together, it just fits so perfectly. Like as she's seeing him get excited about a life that she already had.
Yeah,
he's starting to think like, oh my god, like maybe that is where I belong too. Like I was
really
happy as a she-wolf. Like I felt like this scene was crucial to her like development of this episode. If I didn't get this, I think it would have felt like, how did she come to that realization? Just because of Archie? But she really realizes it because of Reggie, right? And his like, excitement for that world.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It was really good. And like I said, like we always say, like it was such a short scene. We don't see them together again after this, but like we needed that. And again, we don't get a lot of like love between them two. Like it seems like they're really treating their relationship like colleagues, like they're just like good friends. This
was the first moment though where I kind of saw her looking at him like, wow, he's so aligned with me.
Yeah,
you know, like in terms of life goals and like 5 year plan, like they're so aligned. So I can definitely see how like after this moment she really looks at him like in that way too, you know.
I guess it's
not
possible.
so much for him with her, but I guess he's maybe always been like into her.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I don't know, is he like still effing Hermosa? Like we don't know at this point.
Yeah, true.
So anyway, so she's bummed, whatever. Cuts to the Cooper residence, and Alice is about to leave the house. She's like ready, dressed up, ready to go. And then Polly comes down the stairs and she's like, Mama, no, you can't go downstairs. She like gave me my
ticket. Alice was like, Betty, you didn't get a ticket for your sister? She's like, bitch, my budget was $200. I don't have extra money for dead people. She's like,
Polly is sitting up in the nosebleeds for $30 like, up
Mom,
there.
I'm bringing her with us.
Jesus. So bad. Yeah, so she sings, Charles sings, he has another moment, and then they're like, we're alive in this house, like, you know, like whatever. But we're not really. And then Betty has another beautiful moment where she's like, I'm here, I've always been here, and I need you right now. And then she finishes singing. This is when they like end up on the couch. She's like looking straight in her eyes, being like, Mom, like I'm the one that up. And her mom goes, but bitch, you lied to me. But bitch, you left me. But bitch, it's because of you that Polly is dead right now. I was like, whoa. It was too much. It was too much. Escalated so quick.
Up, and like I'm glad that like there was no lines after that. Betty legit walks up and like
she
leaves the house. Like nothing to say to that.
Nothing to say to that. She's hurting. It's her. Like it's a very, very emotional scene. A very sad. But it's interesting because I was thinking the same thing as she was singing the song. She's like, I'm here, I've always been here. I'm like, but you haven't been here, girl. Like where's the duet part? We're just like, you are lying to your mom. Anyway, then it cuts to the Pop's diner, and Jughead is, as he's leaving, he's like, his dad, like Tabitha's dad, like calls him in the parking lot. He's like, hey, come over here.
The scene was so weird. Like
so
I didn't need this
weird.
moment.
Didn't need the moment.
We already know that you don't want her to date Jughead. Like,
yeah,
what a waste of time.
We got it. We understood your point.
Yeah.
And then he goes. So he basically says like, whatever Tabitha's going through right now, it's just a phase. Like you're a phase. She's way out of your league. Sorry, boo boo. Do us all a favor and like don't even come to dinner. And Jughead goes on to say, you remind me of Hiram Lodge. And I was like, wow, the writers really just like
shots fired,
copy pasted that storyline, because basically that's exactly what's happening. Like for whatever reason, they decided to make this dad almost like, exactly like
it's Hiram. Like, oh, if you're rich, you're douche. Hate the poor people and you're a douchebag.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
That just doesn't make sense to me. No. Like, why?
Again, I could have gone through this whole episode and like not had this storyline. Like I was okay with it. We don't need that extra layer. And also, you grew up in Riverdale. How do you not know who Hiram Lodge is?
Yeah,
like, you would have heard of him.
True.
Like, yeah, who that is. Like,
he's like, whoever that is. And I was like, yeah, that's a very good point, because she says like, Dad, you were born. You're basically born here.
Lived here. She said like, you grew up in Pops. You would have heard of the Lodges or Hiram Lodge 100%.
And they also make it sound like, fucking Riverdale. Like, why are you hating on Riverdale that bad? Jesus. So anyway, as he's leaving, he gives him a bottle of Swellegrino. So is that supposed to be Pellegrino?
Why did he do that? Because
I don't know. Didn't understand the entire situation, because
I don't even remember that.
If Swellegrino is Pellegrino is not alcoholic. So I'm just like, did he just
sparkly water?
Grab a bottle of sparkling water? Like, I don't get it. It was a very confusing moment. Random. Let us know, because I was like, they could have chosen any other name. It's Swellegrino is Pellegrino, in my opinion. Anyway, it cuts to Archie and Veronica at home, and she's like, I need to talk about the future. Like, she doesn't sing it, but like, she needs to talk about the future. He's like, oh shit, this is like serious shit. It's
like serious talk.
And she's like, where do you see us in the next 5 years? And then Archie says,
girl, you have been together for 1 minute. Why are you
I know. I'm just like, what is going on in your brain? He's like,
just moved in. We just started sleeping together. Like,
you literally asked me to move in. Like, you said it. You did. Not me, you. So anyway, she's like, what do you want to do in the next 5 years? And he's like, I would never want to stop you from doing what you want to do and what you want your life to be. However, in my heart of hearts, I see myself in Riverdale. Is that a deal breaker? And she like takes a pause, she takes a moment, and then she's like, no, that's not a problem.
Yeah. She said, of course it's not a deal breaker.
They kiss.
Do you think she was lying in that moment?
I think she's still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Okay.
But the one thing that frustrated me the most is, if we all want to go back again from the beginning of the season when they did the flash forward, and she goes, I need to decide if I'm a Casa d'Italia girl or a Pops girl. I'm like, are you a small town girl? Basically, are you a small town girl or a big town girl? Like a big city girl?
Yeah.
You divorced your husband, who was toxic in the beginning, so you shouldn't have made it about being a man, like being with him in the first place. And then you decide that you're like, I'm going to be with Archie. You know what his values are. You know that he loves his town. You know that he wants to stay here. What made you think that this was going to work out?
I think she thinks, or she thought that like they could leave together. Like, let's go on to bigger, better things. Like maybe we'll go back to New York City.
But that
shows me that you don't know who Archie is.
No.
That just shows me that you want him to be what you want him to be. but he is not that guy. You should already know that. You should already know who Archie Andrews is. He's gonna live and die in Riverdale.
Yeah.
And the fact that you don't know that part shows me how like you guys are not endgame. You guys aren't this shit that everyone makes you out to be, because if you were, she would have already known who he is in his core. He even says it. He's like, in my heart of hearts, he goes, I'm gonna be in Riverdale. Like that is showing like this guy's blood is like gonna, like he's gonna live and die in Riverdale.
Also, at this point in time, like, is she just gonna go back to New York? Like, does she even need to be in Riverdale anymore?
Well,
like, at this point,
is
just
like,
leave the show.
I think she doesn't know what she wants, and that's okay. I think that's okay for someone to like examine life and say like, hey, I don't know where my next step is, but much like my comments are always on Veronica, like it's always tied to a guy. Like just go live your life, go be the she-wolf then. Don't get married to some Chad, don't get married to some Archie. Just go be you and like go live your life. Don't go into a Reggie maybe.
Don't
like,
even, I mean, take a minute, take a beat and be yourself, like do yourself. I'm surprised that they didn't give her that storyline to begin with, because it makes more sense to me. It just makes more sense that she would have held out for Archie or moved on from Archie by just kicking ass and being a like bomb ass boss bitch, you know?
I saw someone's tweet and they were like, I love Veronica's storyline. I love where they've taken her. I love that this and she did this and with Chad and now she's with this. And I had to like break it down and I was like, I actually like don't know if I fully agree, because I'm like, I feel like I wanted Veronica to like get to that realization of what she wants in her life on her own.
Yeah.
Not because her husband is trying to murder her, because I want it to be because she has clarity and she has now seen, hey, that kind of guy does not make me happy, or this kind of life doesn't make me happy. I'm going to go chase this kind of life. I would have loved, to your point, to say as a boss ass bitch, as a she-wolf of Wall Street, you get there on your own merit, not because someone's trying to murder you. And then that's your only way out.
Yeah.
You know?
I just feel like they gave her too much backstory for her to like not be where she needs to be at this point in time in her life, considering she's Veronica fucking Lodge.
On the other end, J-Lag, that they didn't give her enough, because we don't know how she fell in love with Chad.
True.
What made her fall in love with this egotistical maniac?
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, to a degree, I feel like they gave her too many prongs and they didn't resolve any of them. We don't know enough.
Foundation.
There's no foundation there. Yeah, like what propelled her into this like shitty 7 years of her life?
Riverdale girl to like back to New York, she-wolf, and then marrying a Chad. What happened there? Like, where did her life go so different? I want to know that so that I can judge where she is now. But we never got that. So exactly. I feel like that's missing in her story a little bit. Like, because as a VARCHIE shipper, let's say like we're down for VARCHIE to like happen and like this is what it's supposed to be. This should have been the moment. This should have been the moment where she's like, wow, I'm with the man I love. I finally got him. Here it is. Instead, they turned it into like, I guess this isn't what I wanted. It took you all this time to divorce your husband, to kill him, to do all this other shit for you to realize that you don't need to be with Archie right now. What is happening with you? Like, it doesn't fall into what I would imagine Veronica's character to be. They just make her more flippant than this, like, we've said this so many times, boss ass, like strong, understands, makes right decisions, really good decisions. No, they've made her like total whack job. Like, I don't understand. And I think, I'm not saying I'm one ship or the other. It's truly not
about that.
It's seeing where this character is, their motivations, what makes them happy, what they're good at.
Yeah.
You know, I think as high school sweethearts, they were so cute. They were very cute together and they're very like whatever. But as adults, in who they are at their core, they're very different people. And we've always said this. I've said it from the beginning. Like someone like Betty, or maybe not even Betty, doesn't have to be a Betty. It's just someone that aligns with him more will suit him more, and someone that aligns with Veronica will suit her more. Like Reggie and her align so much more in what they want in their life, what interests them, what excites them. Like if you're looking at life like that, it doesn't, I know you guys want VARCHIE and I know you guys want BUGHEAD, but like look at life like through that lens, like as an adult. Like
they did the fast forward for a reason. Like,
and they even said that it's not high school anymore. Like
it's not high school
7 years. This is exactly what it is anymore. Like,
I felt like that line was for the VARCHIE shippers, to be honest. Anyway, we'll get
seriously, because he did say, he's like, can we just like hook up and have fun? And she was like, And I did respect her for saying that, right? Like, because she normally probably would have been like, yeah, let's just keep doing what we're doing. But like, she is on this
journey path,
to find
whatever.
herself and like really find who she is and what makes her happy, which I respect too, you know?
I
Like,
can respect that for sure.
For her. So.
Yeah. I think it's like literally like the writers being like, Varchie shipper is like, this was a high school relationship. Like they can't work right now.
If that is the case, that is the case. But I feel like Veronica's storyline out of all the core four, like still needs to be
worked out,
really like worked out still. Like,
agreed.
I want to see her win. I want to see her get there. I feel like the other ones are like pretty much there. Like they know what they're doing, but like
you know what the resolution is going to be. I don't know what Veronica's resolution is at all. I don't know where she's going to be. Is she going to leave Riverdale? Like at this point, she has no ties to the town. She doesn't have to stay there anymore. She came back. She ran away from her husband. Her husband's now dead. She's not with Archie anymore. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get there because that's coming up in a couple scenes. But first, let's go back to Toni working and like she's working super late. She's trying to find a place for Britta to live. And Fangs calls her over for dinner. And then Fangs goes on to say, like, I know that you've been trying to find somewhere and like it hasn't been helpful. It hasn't been working out. You can ask this one more person. And Tony's like, oh, I don't want to do it. And then it turns out he's like, why don't you just ask Cheryl? Like she could help. And she's like, okay, fine, maybe I will.
Was a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, very good point. So then it cuts to Betty and she goes over to Kevin's place and she has this whole like singing moment. She feels lost. They both sing. And he does the one thing that's probably like the best thing about like his character. He says, like, your mom needs you. It's your opportunity to like pick up all the pieces and like be strong for her. I just loved it. I love the fact that like, you know, she came back to him. We forget that like that's her like best like friend or whatever. But like it's just anyway, that's all I'll say about that. What do you think?
No, I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Again, it was a scene where like I almost was like Kevin MVP. Like he was so beautiful in this moment. And like I really, really, really wanted a Veronica and Betty scene in this episode to be like, girl, are you okay? Like I got you. We didn't get that, which is fine because we got this scene. And you're right. Like sometimes you forget that Kevin and Betty are best friends. Yeah. This moment was everything I needed. And like Kevin was finally the strong one. He was like, you're good. Go save your mom. Like go be with her. And I was like almost gonna cry. I was like, this was a very beautiful scene. Yeah, not romantic at all. It doesn't need to always be romantic. It was a friend conversation. I loved it. I loved this moment, and I'm very happy they gave him this moment.
I am glad they gave him this moment, but now that you're talking about Veronica and Betty, I would have loved to see how that would have played out.
I would have loved to see it. Honestly, Jay, like I feel like something's coming between those two. Like I feel like they're gonna have a moment and Betty's gonna be like, you weren't even here for me, or like Veronica's gonna be like, you're not even here for me. Like there needs to be something said because you guys are not friends. Like you have not had a moment.
What kind of relationship do you have at this point? Yeah.
So and I hope there is that conflict. I hope there is that realization where it's like we're not friends anymore. Maybe we were before, but like we don't have anything common anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Or they never really resolved what happened like years ago when like she cheated on him. Anyway, like maybe that's coming. I don't know. But like to your point, she could have just like gone like over to see Veronica and been like, I need to talk to you right now. Like, I'm really sad. I don't want to be at home right now. Like she drove all the way to Kevin's place to talk to him about it. I'm not taking away that moment from him. No? Yeah. No,
I think that's the music room or something. No,
maybe. Yeah, maybe. But anyway, all I'm saying is like, now that you're mentioning the Veronica Betty, I would have loved to see that. Kevin, fine. Okay, cool. They're wrapping him back in. They're obviously trying to pull him back into some storyline by the end of the episode. So like, okay, fine. He needs it more than Veronica does at this point.
I'm missing a lot. Right. And could I have not seen Tabitha's dad like telling Jughead he's a loser? Yeah, I didn't need that scene. That was like a 2-minute scene. You could have given that scene to Betty and Veronica, just Veronica calling her up and be like, are you okay, girl? Like, priorities. I don't understand why they I don't know. It's just the choice.
It's true. It's like they made a few choices this season that like are ignoring a lot of the relationships that you wish that you could see as a fan, but I don't know. Maybe there's a time and place for it. Maybe it'll come in season 6. Like
exactly. And if like ultimately it does add up to them having a moment where they're like, we are not friends anymore, then I'm okay with that. Because that's how it's making sense to me right now.
Right. Yeah. True.
You know,
it's a very good point. Then it cuts to Tabitha at dinner. with her parents, and they're like, oh, I guess her boyfriend isn't coming, like sucks to be him. And right before like he's about to gloat, like the dad's about to gloat, like Jughead walks in wearing some random like plaid jacket. Like he's like, hey girl, I'm here. And it's weird because like they never have like dinner. Like he just like spins her into like his garage. Like it was like this weird set change. And they end off in his room and then they kiss again. He says like, I'm going to try to be perfect for you. So like, I guess this is the assumption at this point, they're like now a couple.
Right.
Tabitha is real. Everyone applaud. But like, are we applauding? Are we applauding? Are we happy about this moment?
I mean, I'm not hating their relationship. Like, I'm not hating because I do feel like they do fit together in the grand scheme of the show.
Yeah.
I just want to know what she sees in him. Like, I just want her to say, like, you're this, you're that, you're this. That's what I love about you. Like, I just want to hear her say that because I don't know what she likes about him right now.
That's the real question that we all have, I think, is like we ship them from the beginning. That? No, I don't.
Okay.
Like, to be completely honest, I want them to be together. To your point, I want them to be together. I think she is so good for him.
Yeah.
Is he good for her?
Exactly.
Is the real question.
She's good for it. Like,
we know
that she's a
catch. Yeah.
Like, what does she see in Jughead? That's all I want to know. If you guys can explain that to me and like justify it, then I'm all down for this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like maybe she's just like head over heels over this guy, like fine, but like honestly, like there really isn't anything appealing about him. Yeah. He's super handsome. Maybe that's pretty much it. Outside of that, like there's no reason to be with Jughead. He has like nothing going for him at all. Like
he's
nothing.
Not even funny. He's like sad.
Like no shade.
His song was literally like the world is falling apart. We should just be together.
Yeah.
That's and it's just selling point. That's how you're gonna win me over. The world is over.
The world is fucked. We should get together. Like she's like, then go fuck someone else because like I'm better than that. Yeah,
and that's it. Like he's just, I don't know. I just wish I could, you know, if he was like, I'm gonna save this town, I need you to do this with me. I'm gonna write a book and then I'm gonna save the Riverdale. Then I could see her being like, damn, like this guy is like determined, like he has a fight. But I haven't really seen that yet.
Or like let's look at Pops. I love Pops too. Like let's make it better. Like let's go into business together. Like something, like literally do something outside of just being a busboy, having to pay off debt from loan sharks and like sitting there being a fucking loser. Like I just don't understand. Like, you're right. I don't understand what her draw is to him at all. Like, maybe she has just a complex of like saving people. I have no clue, but like, they're making me question her motives. Cause like at this point in time, like there is no reason for you to be with him.
Well, it's like a Veronica chat thing. It's like, you love Veronica up until she starts to do these things and make these
choices.
Like, how did you make that choice?
Yeah,
I'm losing respect for you because it's like, how did you get there?
Like, exactly. And I don't want to not lose respect for Tabitha because I fucking love her. Yeah, but I just don't understand like where is this gonna go? How is it gonna end? Like I just want to know where they're going with them as a relationship because like they haven't even really figured shit out with each other yet. And maybe that is Tabitha's like hesitation this whole time is like, we're all fucked up, like you don't know what's going on with you, and he's like, no, we should do this, and I'm like, okay, I guess like singing helps everything, I guess, and they're together now. Then it cuts to Cheryl and Tony talking. We have a little CHONI moment where Tony bites the bullet and she asks if Britta could stay at Thornhill with Cheryl. And Cheryl says, I'm actually really pretty surprised that you even asked me. And Tony says something really sweet. She's like, you know, like I was with you. I loved you and I know how much you love and like this is what she needs right now. And she's like, absolutely. I would be so happy to help. Very sweet moment.
It was, yeah.
This is what the fandom wants in terms of like the ship slowly coming together. Slow burn. Yeah. CHONI is a slow burn. Agreed. Let's just look at how they're doing CHONI right now. They're doing it very, very well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They had a very destructive, toxic relationship at the beginning of the season. We didn't get CHONI. Let's do the long game. Whoever's writing CHONI storyline, they're doing it well, in my opinion. Anyway, cutting back to Veronica and Archie talking again. And she explains to Archie that, you know, when she was dating Chad and when she was with Chad, slowly but surely, she as an identity started to fade away. And she's like, I'm starting to feel that way again. I wrote down, girl, it's been 2 minutes. How are you fading into the background? It's been 2 seconds. They didn't want to have dinner with you one time.
And put out a fire, a literal fire, because he's a firefighter.
I don't get it.
How are you invisible? He's trying to save people. You're such a
narcissist. Selfish bitch.
Like, honestly, no, but it's true. Like, it's not like he's going off and like playing golf. Like, he went to save someone's life in a fire. That is why you're not being attended to right now. You
made one dinner and you're like, I'm disappearing, guys. Guys, where am I? Who am I? Can you see me? Am I invisible? I'm an invisible girl. Like, what are you talking about?
Like, you're the least invisible girl on this show. Like, you're the loudest, like, annoying person.
Yeah. Fuck. I don't like it just came out of nowhere. If this was built over time, 100%. Then I would understand.
And everyone was saying
it's been a day. On
Twitter. Yeah.
Been a fucking day.
You just moved in. You just started again. How are you already invisible?
You made 3 Are you already invisible? And then she goes on to say,
Casper, like how, like,
yeah, like what happened there? She goes on to say she wants to take a beat and that we shouldn't rush into this. Girl, you are the one. You are the one who asked him to move in with you. What are we talking about?
Okay. That's okay, right? Like, she's realizing that, like, obviously her choice wasn't the right one, and that's fine. That's totally fine.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I know what you're saying.
Didn't make any sense to me.
I know what you're saying.
I was like, she wants to take a beat. Like, if he was like, yo, I don't know, you don't seem comfortable. I'm not very happy with you right now. We're not having sex anymore. If he made the realization instead of her being like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. It's been 24 hours. I just can't deal.
And I'll talk about this later. I will say that I did respect this moment in that, like, she makes that call. It's not him.
Yeah, it's fine.
Usually it is him. He's always like, we can't do this anymore. So I do love that she's the one stepping up and being like, no, this isn't right. I need to figure this shit out. Like, this is my choice. She made a mistake. She made a bad call. She shouldn't have moved in right away. That's fine. You know, we all make like wrong decisions, whatever. But like, yeah, I did appreciate that it was her call, her decision. She was like the strongest I feel like she's ever been in
the entire series.
Yeah, seriously.
So anyway, then he goes on to say what we were saying earlier, which is like, why can't we just like, you know, fool around and like regular date and have like a good time? And she's like, that's all fun, but we're not in high school anymore. Going back all the way to like what we were talking about earlier, VARCHIE as a ship worked out perfectly as a young couple. They
don't have to look at life and make life choices. They work. Right. Because they just have sex. Like guys, like, I don't care if you're VARCHIE, whatever, like, you have to admit that is their relationship. Like, that. And
you also have to remember, like, Archie did make an effort. And even in high school, he tried to literally be a gangster like her dad. Like, he tried in her world to make it fucking work. It didn't work.
Because it's not him.
It's not him. It didn't fit. And she tried to be housewife for 5 seconds and she couldn't fit in his world.
She's like, I'm invisible. Like, she's even exists in the world.
I don't get you, girl. Anyway, that's like the final conclusion that they make. They're just not going to make it work. It's not going to happen. Then it cuts to, did you feel like it was a little harsh, or was it like the moment that you needed to be like, okay, VARCHIE right now is like dead. We're not doing this right now.
I think it was the moment I needed for sure. I think I would have liked even just one episode in the middle for them to be enjoying life together.
Yeah.
Because we had like one scene and then it was like, I'm moving and I'm invisible. So I was like, whoa, it's happening very quickly. But I know that like the season's almost done. I feel like they're sort of in this like time crunch of fitting all of this in. But that felt very quick. Like, she just moved in and then she's like, I'm invisible. Like, okay, give it a minute.
Give it 5 seconds.
But, you know, things don't work out like that.
Yeah. Do you see VARCHIE coming back together, or do you think this is it?
I was gonna ask you this too. My thing is like, I don't know what to expect. How do they come back from this?
Yes.
How do they come back full circle and are like, now we're meant to be together?
Right.
What's going to be that? I don't know what that thing is.
I don't know what that thing is either, because like realistically, I feel like she has made her choice in her mind. Like, I am the she-wolf of Wall Street. I miss that. I want to be a part of that. She can't be that plus be her husband, like his
He's the hero
wife.
of his story, and she wants to be the heroine of her story. It's hard when they're both in that same thing. So I don't know what's going to be the thing that brings them back together. I really don't.
Yeah, I wish I could see it. I just don't see it. I don't know what the writers will pull together to like make them even get back together at this point. I have no idea. So cuts to Cooper Res, and then Betty goes on to say, like, years ago I made a promise that I would come back to Riverdale, and I never did that. So I'm promising now that I'm never going to leave you alone again, ever. And she starts singing. Very emotional moment again. Alice apologizes for what she said to her earlier. And Betty has another song where she's like, things are gonna get better, and Alice is like, not for me, girl, everything's pretty fucked up though. Like, it's just sad.
Yeah.
Everything is just sad. She grabs the ashes.
But
like it's
really
just like
funny when they have two songs in one scene, so
she's like double
go,
feature,
and then it like fades, and I'm like, okay, good, the music stopped, and she's like, Mom,
but I need to tell you one more thing.
I'm like, oh my god.
They like fit the entire fucking like whole discography in there. This is a very beautiful moment. Like they grab the ashes, I think, and then Polly comes down the stairs, and it's kind of like this final moment where you see her like depart. It's like chilling me right now. Like so sad. And then she talks about the fact that
Charles in a Letterman jacket though. Like I didn't understand that.
I guess like
he didn't even go to Riverdale High.
Yeah, I know. I think the kid in like Next to Normal is probably like a high school student. Like they're all like they're still following the Broadway musical. So like he's like, yeah. Anyway, and then she says something really sweet where she's like, you know, the irony of all of this is like we just want it to be like a perfect family. Like we just want it to be a normal family. And like Betty's like, this is close enough. Like this is next to normal.
We don't need
this
to
is
be normal. Like we are okay.
Like we're next to normal.
But
like,
I'm like,
this is what it is.
You guys are not okay. Like you literally lost like 4 family members. Like that's fucked. Like,
yeah, you guys did not.
It's hard.
This is coming out of this is hard. That's what I'm saying. Like I think we talked about it so many times. Like it is so unfortunate. Like this could totally break a mother. 100%. Like completely forever. Crazy. Like this is just, it's so sad. It is just so sad to know that they gave her the storyline.
On
it just
top
sucks.
of that, the love of her life, FP is just like running around and like wherever he is. Like he couldn't even come back to like be with her.
Like it's just like, I just feel bad because Alice didn't do anything to make this happen to her. Everything happened to her.
It's life. So what are you gonna do?
But like back to back, oh man, what a fucking shit show. So anyway, it shows. It cuts to Pops, and Tabitha and Jughead and Kevin are like just sitting there. Kevin notices them like holding hands. I think it's just before the service. Oh, okay. I even wrote down like, why is Kevin there just like lurking in the background? He didn't even have a line in that scene. He's just literally like overhearing them talk and then like them holding hands, and he's like, true. Like I was like, okay, I guess they're like building to like Kevin's situation. Then it cuts to Fangs and Tony. Then we get another moment that I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Tony says, I think I love you. And he says, samesies.
I think I love you too.
What do we think about this moment?
So what do we I do love them together. Like I do love them. I love them. I don't know if like I was there yet for this.
Like you weren't ready for them to be
I wasn't
in like a
ready
relationship.
For this moment. Because like I can see them saying I love you as like two parents together, two amazing friends like together. I can see them saying that, but like romantically, like I don't think I was there just yet to buy into it. I could have used like one more like cute like scene maybe in the middle somewhere. I don't know what else I needed, but like I just felt like I needed a little bit more romantically, like on a like
romantic moments,
intimate level.
Even if it was just like them like cleaning dishes together, like baby bottles,
or like something to make it seem like you're physically attracted to.
There's a physical attraction. It's not just an emotional attraction.
Yeah, because we already know that emotional one is there because like they're friends and like they love each other. That's fine.
But then, just like everyone else, like if Veronica's allowed to figure shit out, maybe they're just trying to figure shit out. Maybe they're like, we love each other. Maybe they're gonna realize like we just don't like to fuck each other because like I'm a full lesbian and you're like a homo. So like,
but they kissed now. Like maybe this is gonna be like the start of their thing.
I guess it's possible. It's definitely possible.
I get what you're saying too. That would be kind of a very like organic too, because like maybe you just got thing and then you're like, hey, how does it actually work now?
I mean, that's the thing. Test it out, try it out, whatever. You both are like the parents of this child, so like you're gonna try your best to like bring this passion together to like whatever. I don't know. Like
I do feel like also,
I think it makes sense.
The actors have good chemistry, so like when they kiss, like I was down for it. I was like, oh, they don't look so awkward. Like they fit it. But again, I just felt like I could have used like a little bit more, one scene somewhere in there so that like I could see like a sexual
It's
attraction.
believable at the very
just,
least.
Yeah, I don't need the whole episode, just like one scene to be like he's looking at her differently, or like she's looking at him differently, like something, you know?
Because especially now, it's just you might as well just assume that Shoney's are gonna get together, because like they didn't give Fangs and Tony like this love story like that makes like so
maybe
much.
It's coming though, like we haven't seen it yet,
Like the Tony and Fangs love story.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. Wouldn't it build up to them wanting to be together? Like, isn't that like the point of like them being like, now we're together, we want to be together?
But I think that's what this was.
Yeah, but I don't think that it was strong enough for me to be like, oh, I would rather Fangs and Tony together than Shoney together.
Well, I think I would.
What I'm saying is like,
now do that for now, like dabble, have fun, and then you know, maybe Endgame is Shoney. We know that, but.
Anyway, cute moment, whatever, they're together. I'm into it for now. Like obviously Cheryl is like not in the, like she's dealing with a ministry right now, so she's like not even free. So then it cuts to the Cooper residence. This is like the final kind of scene. Betty turns on all the lights, and it's this moment like turn on the lights and like very emotional. And then it cuts to everyone kind of singing into this song. Veronica leaves Archie's place dramatically. Tony is now with Fangs. Kevin is at Pop's by himself, like sitting there like a loser. It shows Britta with Cheryl. And then there's like a final moment where like it's like the funeral scene. Everybody's in the graveyard and they're all singing together like a cast singing moment. There will be light. Very beautiful final shot of, I think, like Alice, like seeing Alice and then cutting, and then the final shot is the shot of the picture of the man on the mantle of them going to the show.
I think I did love that, but I think I would, and so one of our listeners said the same thing. I would have loved the ending. Instead of the photo, it was like her coming to Jason, or like her walking.
Yeah, that would have been so emotional.
And like one of our listeners, I'll say it after too, but she was like, it's funny how like Jason's never had a single line.
Yeah.
But if his one line was like, you're home now, or like, you're with me now, and like she's walking to him, oh my God, I would have been like gone. Like,
yeah, that would have been so good.
I was missing Jason a little bit. And I know it's not really about him, but like just that final shot of her in the afterlife, like finally getting to be with him. I also would have loved something like that.
Like also remembering the fact that like he started like his death,
that's what I'm saying.
Their relationship started this whole fucking situation to begin with.
The twins,
the mystery, the twist, and the like there were Coopers, were cousins. Like it would have made a full circle moment.
I think
5 seasons
maybe
later,
they couldn't get the actor really on set or something like that. But like I feel like that would have been such a beautiful ending. Just that visual of like them walking away together.
They could have just copy pasted a shot of him going like this, because like they have so many shots of him doing that, because that's all he fucking does.
Yeah, literally.
Anyway, really good episode. A lot of things happen, closed off, finished, whatever. Let's get into some comments. So you want to read out this comment? This is the comment I think you were talking
Mackenzie L. Burns. She said it would be heartbreaking but incredibly moving if Jason's only line ever in this show was something like, "Hi Polly, I've missed you. I've been waiting for you for a long time," to that effect, because it was their love story that sparked the season 1 mystery to get us here. 100%. Yeah, totally. I feel like that would have been such a beautiful
super powerful
at the end of this. But it's okay. We got a lot.
But now let's get into our recap roundups.
Recap roundups. Best moment. My best moment is gonna go to, obviously, the Betty, Alice, every single moment was great. But I do want to give the best moment to the VARCHIE scenes and the VARCHIE realization, more so from Veronica's side. It just felt like a very mature, very adult realization. And the fact that she was the one to make that call, I really, really did like that. I'm glad the writers didn't give it to Archie, because again, that would have made Veronica look like a loser once more, desperate, like, you know. Yeah. So I did like that. I did like that whole scene.
Fair enough. Yeah. My best moment is, I gave it to like every moment with Betty and Alice, especially toward the end, because it just got like more and more emotional as it went on.
One scene that you liked the most from them?
I really loved the scene where she's looking at her mom in the eyes, like Lily Reinhart. It's like a really, really tight shot of her sitting at the couch. I think it's just before Alice tells her like it's your fault that she's dead. And it's like this moment where she's just trying her best to like shake her mom out of it, make her feel a little bit better. And like it's like the way Lily acts is she is just such a phenomenal actress. She blows my mind every single time I see her. When I watch it, I get so excited to see how she's going to play the scene, and she always does it so well. And yeah, that scene I think was really powerful, and especially the way it ends off with her basically saying like, you're the reason why my daughter's dead. Like that whole fucking hits you so hard when everyone's grieving, everyone's in pain. Anyway, really good moment. Love that moment.
WTF moment.
What was your WTF moment?
WTF moment, I'm gonna say #phony, #tangs. I don't know what their ship name is.
Yeah,
but,
good question.
I do like phony, like FONI, but
Phony.
phony, but I do like I like them together. I want to see them continue to be together. Like I'm down for it. I just wish, like I was saying, it caught me a little off guard to obviously be like, I love you too. I was like, whoa, like, okay, I get that you love each other on a friend basis, but like I didn't know this was gonna be like a romantic thing now.
Yeah.
So I just wish they built it up a little bit for me, because I just felt like I was missing a little bit there. But
Fair.
Yeah, that was sort of like my most shocking moment.
That's a good one. Mine is going to be Tabitha's dad. Like I was just that whole scene like maybe like weirded me out, but also just like him as a character weirded me out. Like I don't know if we needed it. To your point, like why do we even need a scene with them to be involved? Like they could have been in the background and she could have just been like, my parents give me anxiety, and then they just like still get together. Like they didn't really need to talk about her parents and her issues with her parents unless they're sticking around for a little bit longer, like, which I don't know if that's going to be the case, because like their parents obviously fucking hate Riverdale. So like I don't know, I can't see them staying there and wanting like, to. Would
have been nice if there was a thing to that, like
a secret.
No, or like a conclusion, like her dad being like, you're right, like it's your life, you're like 30 years old now, like go live it. Like okay, cool. But like
that's what I mean. I feel like this storyline is very high school. It's very Hiram Lodge, very that story, like blah blah blah. Like I didn't need it again.
Yeah. MVP.
Who's your MVP?
It's funny because this one we had opposites, and I'm excited to talk about this.
Sure.
So obviously Betty, but I'm not gonna say Betty because Betty's is everyone's. But I'm gonna say Veronica, and I'm gonna say Veronica because first she nailed an Ina Garden recipe, and that's my hero, and I love her for that.
Nailed it.
But most importantly, for making this decision, for being like, I don't want to be invisible anymore. Like I might want to be the she wolf. Just making this choice and making this huge decision and being like, we're not even gonna like hook up anymore. Like I'm moving on.
I can't do this. Yeah.
And that's a big step for her. So I did respect her for that.
My MVP before we get to the LVP is going to go to Betty. I mean, obviously for obvious reasons, I don't even have to explain myself. Like she's just phenomenal. Again, Lily Reinhart is like my queen. LVP. Who's your LVP?
I want you to say yours. So that
okay. So let's talk about this. I put down Veronica, and listening to what you're saying, I totally see your perspective on it, and I see and understand like where that is coming from. The hope for more growth for her character, for sure. I just think in this episode, it's not really her fault. It's more like the way it was written. It just felt like she was making all these rash decisions in like 5 seconds. All season.
It's true. Yeah.
I just feel like what she decides, to your point, agreed. I think that she was very strong by the end of it, being like, I need to leave, like I need to make this decision. But I hated the way that they presented it. So it makes me frustrated with her character being like, girl, what the fuck is wrong with you? You literally were here for 5 seconds and now you're leaving. Like, what is going on right now? So I agree with you. If it was a long game storyline, I would have been like way more invested in her character and how she ends off with this. But because they like rushed it and made it feel like she was making all these rash decisions, I'm like, bitch, you need to just chill and calm down and move out of the Pembroke, because like you murdered your husband there. You need to fucking deal with your shit. Like,
not even gonna talk about that.
There's too many things. There's too many things to deal with her character. Like they could have made it better storyline. They could have made it that she needs to leave the Pembroke because it's still an ongoing like investigation. So she needs to temporarily move in with Archie to be like, do you need a roommate? And then she still has the same storyline. Then she realizes, instead of making the commit, guys, hello, salary.
Why are we writing for
Come
the show?
on.
No, No, you're
Like,
right, because then it's like an unintentional circumstance.
yes.
But she still realizes her conclusion, which I
Right.
would have respected so much more. Whereas
Yes.
what you're saying now, it's true. Like, she made that call. She jumped into bed with him in the house, and then she's like, "Oh, I'm invisible now."
Like, I would have loved it more. Yeah, anyway,
100%.
that would have been a way better way to go.
She has gotten definitely the short end of the straw or the stick, whatever the saying is, this season. And I feel like they did her dirty, even knowing that they cut out her freaking singing sequence in this episode.
Yeah.
The fact that Lily and Kevin and what they all got like multiple scenes.
She
had one and it got cut out. Like, as Cammy, like, I would have been like really cheesed. I would have been like, you guys couldn't have kept like 30 seconds of it in at least. Like,
and that's why I'm questioning, like, even with the way that this episode ends, we didn't even really talk about it. What does the future hold for Veronica? Do we see her even staying in Riverdale? Is she gonna leave?
I don't know.
Like what's the point, really? Unless she's staying for Reggie, or she stays.
I think Hiram is gonna keep her there. Something's gonna happen with Hiram. Something's gonna happen with Hiram, and it's gonna keep her there for a little bit longer, for sure.
Okay.
Something
That's
needs
fair
to
enough.
like drop, you know?
Because at this point in time, she has no reason to stay there.
Yeah.
She literally told Archie, "I don't want to be here anymore."
Yeah.
So like, I'm good. Interesting. Anyway,
who's
your
LVP?
LVP?
I said Jason, and I felt bad because I had no LVP, and it's not Jason. It's just the writers for Jason, and I just wrote like, you didn't even come back to get your baby mama in the afterlife. Like, we could have just used that scene of seeing you guys together. Like, it would have been so cute, Polly walking into Jason's arms.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't have anyone, and I was like, that was literally, I just wanted to see him in the one episode that I want to see.
The one episode, he's not even there. Yeah, it's true.
The best line.
What was your best line?
Best line is gonna go. I had two. First one is Veronica. Remember, boys, when Ina Garten tells you to keep your rolls tight, you listen. I loved it because, you know, J-Lag knows how much I love Ina Garten. She's like amazing, so that cracked me up. And then Kevin's line was really, it made me almost like cry. He's like, make the commitment to your mother, go back, pick up the pieces, catch each other.
Ooh,
I was like,
good line.
Oh boy, you got all these lines sometimes, but you need to speak more.
You need to like say the right ones and do the right things. Like, realistically.
So
my best line is gonna go to Tony when she's talking to Cheryl and she says, "I loved you. I felt your love, and I know the huge capacity for love your heart has." It was the first time that I feel like we've had a very like honest, emotional moment with CHONI in a very long time, and it was not like, it was just beautiful. I liked it, and it reminds me how much I enjoy Tony's character and how much
Tony.
Killed it. They're killing it, man.
Archie and Tony are the MVPs of this entire season.
Yeah.
They are carrying everything else.
Yeah.
Legit.
They're just like doing the work, but also like bringing a lot of humanity to it. And just, it's really good.
Yeah.
Let's get into our listener roundups.
Listener roundups. We got
a
few.
Go first, girl.
At Jules_BTW best moment, finally putting the Polly storyline to rest. Bye, girl. Glad we could see her one last time. In the best episode, WTF moment, Fangs and Tony becoming a couple. Why can they not just be friends who love each other? That's interesting.
And maybe that will be what it evolves to.
Yeah. Like maybe in the end, like Tony will be like, I'm not into you like in that way.
Like, we can't do this. Yeah, it's not for me.
You can't put the P in the V. Like, it's just not working out.
It's not working.
MVP, Betty as always. Legit Betty as always.
As always. Always.
LVP, Veronica jumping into a relationship with Archie 3 seconds later after divorcing and killing her ex, then telling Archie she wants to take a break. Make up your mind.
Make your mind, baby. Yeah. At Tina Ann says best moments. All of them with Alice, watching her lose her grip on reality and drowning in grief. I lost my father last year. Oh my God, Tina Ann. I lost my father last year. This episode was so tough to watch. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's such an emotional thing to
and I think something that the show did amazing in this episode was adding that element of like, you are losing sense of reality. You know what I mean?
True.
Like,
for sure.
And Machin played that like amazing. Like, you can't even like process what's happening.
Yeah.
Having said that, like Polly was missing like all season, so like we kind of already knew like what
we knew what was gonna happen. But just like dealing with the grief.
They saw her body in the trunk. Like,
it was so hard. It's that was hard. Yeah. I'm so sorry to hear that. Anyway, MVP Betty, she came back to support Alice. WTF moment, Archie almost died last week, and now Veronica breaks up with him. Good point. He's like, cool. He's like, I
gotta go put out fires.
I'm gonna go save. Yeah, exactly. Keep your V to yourself. LVP is Veronica. Very good. Okay.
At Mackenzie L. Burns, best moment the entire episode was one of the strongest in 5B. WTFB finding both Jug and Frank in the bathroom. Oh, that's an emoji.
Eyebrow, right?
I was like,
eyebrows.
MVP Betty and Alice. LVP Jason. He didn't come get Polly. No sign up to them together. Oh my God, we had the same one. I didn't even see hers. Best line, too many, but I'm going to eat in the garage. Sounds good. Oh, Jeronica. They're so awkward.
At Shameless 30s, Riverdale says, best every Alice Betty duet. WTF, Cheryl throwing holy water on her mom and it sizzled. Rolling on the floor laughing. MVP Betty all day, but also loved Kev being there for Betty this episode.
Agreed, yeah.
Fair enough. LVP, I can't really think of one. And best line, I'm going to eat in the garage. I really love that line, eh?
At Song You Found. Best moment, all the Betty Alice duets. WTF Britta's parents saying it was her fault. She was kidnapped / and she's a deviant for being gay, like question mark.
Yeah.
MVP,
so
Betty. LVP, I don't think there was one. I'd say Frank, but the shower scene was hilarious. Best line, but something next to normal would be okay.
Yeah. Oh.
I love that.
At Cynthia421 says, best moment, all Betty and Alice duet scenes and Kevin supporting Betty. That was so endearing. WTF, Tony and Fangs love declaration. It was expected, but still happened so fast. I think everything happened very fast this episode. MVP, Betty. LVP, Tabitha's parents. Fair point. That is the episode, everyone. Thank you so much for listening and watching.
Sorry, I'm just pulling some things from our Instagram.
Oh yeah, go for it.
People, I'm not going to read them all, but they commented. It really looks like everyone, you guys love the episode. Everyone was really like moved by it.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, I actually want to know, like, which musical episode did you like the most? Now that we've had like what, 4?
Seen a lot of them, yeah.
4, I think at this point.
Yeah, we've seen 4.
Which one was your favorite?
For me?
Yeah.
I think my favorite is Hedwig. Is that the one where? Yeah, I think so. That's when like BARCHIE kiss. I thought it was a very
I don't remember that.
Good season. Yeah, I think they kiss because, isn't it?
I don't. Maybe
they talk about like the big world, big small world.
Right. I don't remember though.
The creatures.
I feel like that was my least favorite. I think for me, Carrie was my favorite.
Carrie was lit. Oh my God.
Lit.
Carrie
I
was
still
so
have that
fucking
soundtrack
lit.
on my phone, and sometimes it comes up in the car and I'm like, yes.
I will say that I really, really do love the other one, the Heathers. The Heathers was lit too.
Was Heathers the first one or was Carrie the first one?
Carrie was first, Heathers was
Carrie.
second, third was thing.
Hedwig, yeah.
Hedwig. Wait, are we in 4th season? But 4th season didn't have a musical, right?
No, I think the first season didn't have one. Oh yeah, that's true. First season didn't have one. Yeah, that's
right.
Why.
So 4 seasons. Yeah, 4 musicals. Got it.
Let us know in the comments which one of the musicals was your favorite.
Yeah, is this like your top now?
Yeah.
This one was sad. It just made me sad.
This one
very
made me
emotional.
feel things that the other ones didn't. So in that way, it was more powerful. Like I definitely felt so many more emotions. But I think like in terms of the music, I think for me, Carrie was the most lit. Like I still listen to those songs.
I know. I actually want to go back and listen to them now. I'm into it. I still listen to like Candy Store from fucking the Heathers all the time. Let's take this time to thank our patrons of the episode, our Rewinder Squad, White and Nicole, our Lit Rewinders, Tina Ann, Soleil, and Kate, and our Mommy Rewinders, Becca, Sarah, Tamala, and Grace.
Thanks, guys. If you'd like to join our Patreon family, check us out at patreon.com/recap_rewind.
And also make sure you guys are checking us on all of our socials, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter is Recap Rewind Pod. Oh, that's wrong.
_rewind pod. I can see your eyes like mentally break
every
down. You're
time.
Like,
recap
_rewind pod. It's our new account because our first one got like shafted. I don't know what that happened. So follow us on that account.
Yes.
If you want to stay locked into our updates, our links, when our like podcasts get posted. And if you guys are listening to this for the first time, every Thursday we drop our new podcast on YouTube.
Yep.
And everyone is welcome to sign in and chat we have like all our listeners chatting together and discussing the episode live under the video, which is probably where you're watching. If you're watching this now on YouTube, this is where we are, but we are also on Spotify and iTunes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Exactly. And like NB said, check us out there. Like, subscribe, follow, and review to comment to stay engaged with us at Recap Rewind. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next week for the season finale. Finale.
If you guys want to see anything different next week, let us know.
Oh yeah, let us know. Bye.